ọ̀rọ̀ tí mo fẹ́ sọ ní road chat lónìí tẹ́ bá ti gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ ìtàn nínú comment section mo fẹ́ kẹ́ sọ bí ó ṣe rí lọ́dọ̀ tí tàbí kẹ́ sọ nísọ wípé bàbá àròpọ̀ rí ẹ gbé mi wá sórí program ẹ take time èmi náà fẹ́ fi bó ṣe rí lójú tèmi mo fẹ́ sọ òótọ́ tó wà ń bẹ̀ tẹ́ bá mọ̀ nípa ẹ̀ nǹkan méjì ni àwọn kan gbàgbọ́ pé ìpè burúkú kan ó wà lórí ọmọ Yorùbá pé ìpè burúkú kan ń ja ìran Yorùbá àwọn kankan gbàgbọ́ pé àwọn kì í ṣe ọmọ Yorùbá pé àwọn kò kàn wọ́n àwọn kan gbàgbọ́ pé ọmọ Odùduwà àwọn kan gbàgbọ́ pé kíní kan àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ yánmọ̀yánmọ̀ ìdájìjàjì ní àkókò tó jẹ́ pé ìran tá à ń pè níran Yorùbá yìí o tó jẹ́ pé àwa gbọ́njú báyìí ìran tó ta dámọ̀ nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà bóyá ìran Ìgbò tàbí ilẹ̀ Haúsá tá a mọ̀ kan tó wá pè kan ní Fúlàní gbogbo wọn lágbàgbọ́ wípé àwa lọ̀tá Nàìjíríà ẹ bá wo àgbákàmọ̀ nǹkan tó ń lọ ní ìjọba tí Tinubu bá lẹ̀ ẹ̀rù Ọlọ́run á bà yín ìlú yẹn ti bàjẹ́ débi pé òun ló dẹ̀ jẹ́ kémi ó máa sọ pé kò sí nǹkan tí ẹ̀gbọ́n ń wá lẹ̀ tó ń wá lọ second time òun ló jẹ́ kí n máa sọ torí tó bá padà ṣe tán ó ní fídíò kan máa play fídíò yẹn fún yín tí ẹ̀gbọ́n bá tiẹ̀ padà kúrò lórí àlééfà ní tó máa padà tún ṣẹlẹ̀ nìyẹn gbogbo lẹ́gẹ̀sì tó bá fi sílẹ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀ ló máa bàjẹ́ ẹ wo Ọbásanjọ́ náà gbogbo nǹkan tó ṣe lójú wa báyìí la rí plane tó ń wa plane wá nígbà ayé Buhari plane Nàìjíríà air àbí kíní kan àṣẹ wọn lọ yá ni wọn lẹ stika mọ́ lára àwọn yẹn gbé kíní wọn pa àwọn ṣí stika yẹn kúrò ńbẹ̀ ẹjọ́ irú èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn ń bolo wà ṣé ó ti dòyì ni ẹni tó ṣiṣẹ́ ibi yẹn ṣé bá wà àgbákàmọ̀ nǹkan tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀wò ẹ̀dẹ̀ sun ẹkún ẹ̀dẹ̀ ní dákẹ́ torí pé àwa tá a fẹ́ràn orílẹ̀-èdè tá a fẹ́ràn ìlú wa jàjà Ìgbò sí Yorùbá Ìgbò ń bá Yorùbá jà nígbà ẹ bá gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ yánmọ̀yánmọ̀ gbogbo Awólọ́wọ̀ ló jẹ́ kí wọ́n wìn ní ogun ẹnìkan ló ṣekú pa wọ́n nìkan kìnìkan àwọn ti gbàgbé pé ńgbà táwọn transgate the first democracy ńgbà yẹn tán pa gbogbo yẹn dànù eléyìí tẹ́yìn wá ń yí ìtàn padà tí Babangida ń yí ìtàn padà yẹn tẹ́yìn sọ tẹ́yìn parọ́ òun ni ò dẹ̀ ní jẹ́ kí Fúlàní kó dáríjì Ìgbò láyé tó ṣe pa àwọn èèyàn wọn tó ṣe wọn jákàjáká yẹn ẹ̀ka fẹ́ máa yí ìtàn padà àwọn mọ̀ nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ náà kí wá padà sí nǹkan tí mi sọ nǹkan tí ọba Solomon sọ yẹn pé máa yan oníṣkánṣkán ni ṣùgbọ́n ó lọ́rọ̀ gidi lẹ́nu o wọn ò pé torí pé tó sọ̀rọ̀ lókólòbò irọ́ orí ẹ̀ pé ó béèrè question kan tẹ̀yìn bá wá rí nǹkan sọ sí jẹ́ kí n mọ̀ ní comment section.
lórí ọ̀rọ̀ awuyewuye tó ń lọ ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ọ̀rọ̀ kan ò yé mi tẹ́lẹ̀ ó ẹ̀sẹ̀ ń yé mi ni wọ́n pè mí láti Ọ̀yọ́ láàárọ̀ yìí wọ́n ní àwọn ọba Aláàfin Ọọ̀ni of Ifẹ̀ jà torí ti pò wọ́n ní nǹkan tó ń bá Aláàfin Ọọ̀ni of Ọ̀yọ́ jà fún òun ni that word Yorùbá kí nìkan wá ta sí mi lọ́pọlọ bọ́n ṣe sọ yẹn Yorùbá that means wípé Ọ̀yọ́ ló ní nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ Yorùbá gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá ṣé ẹ gbà bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣé gbogbo yín gbà bẹ́ẹ̀ wípé Ọ̀yọ́ ló ní nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ Yorùbá wọ́n ní Ọọ̀ni of Ifẹ̀ lè fi èèyàn joyè lágbájá of Oòduà land lágbájá of Ifẹ̀ land lágbájá of another place land but Ọọ̀ni of Ifẹ̀ ò ní agbára láti fi èèyàn kan jẹ oyè lágbájá of Yorùbá land ó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wá ń yé wa bọ̀ díẹ̀díẹ̀ ni o. Definitely tá bá gba Yorùbá nation Ọ̀yọ́ ló ní, bó ṣe ń yé mi ni mo ṣe sọ yìí o. A jẹ́ pé látẹ̀ní lọ Yorùbá pọ̀ o, and that Yorùbá yẹn mo fẹ́ béèrè question kan láàárín yẹn, the word Yorùbá yẹn, ṣé èdè tí a ń sọ ló sọ wá di Yorùbá ni, àbí torí wípé àjọ ń gbé pọ̀ ló sọ wá di Yorùbá? Ṣé èdè Ọ̀yọ́ nìkan ló ń jẹ́ Yorùbá ni, àbí èdè Ifẹ̀ náà Yorùbá, àbí èdè Oǹdó náà Yorùbá, àbí èdè Ìjẹ̀bú náà Yorùbá? Tó bá wá jẹ́ wípé èdè Ọ̀yọ́ nìkan ló ń jẹ́ Yorùbá, àwọn àgbà wa sọ wípé oko kì í jẹ́ ti bá tọ́mọ́ kó má làálàá. Àfìgbà tépè bá padà mọ́ wa pín, ìpè padà mọ́ wa, torí Yorùbá máa pín yẹ́lẹyẹ̀lẹ lórí tó wà nílẹ̀ yìí. Torí tó bá pẹ́ sí tẹ́ bá pe ọba Solomoni ní ọmọ Yorùbá, mo máa bu ìpìlú ẹ. Èmi ò kì í sọ ọmọ Yorùbá, ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú lèmi. Wọ́n tó bá béèrè lọ́wọ́ mi pé ṣé Ìjẹ̀bú Yorùbá? Rárá, Ìjẹ̀bú ni mí. Tó bá béèrè lọ́wọ́ ẹ wípé ṣé ọmọ Yorùbá ni ẹ wá? Rárá, ọmọ Oǹdó lèmi. Oǹdó, Ìkálẹ̀ Oǹdó, kì í ṣe Yorùbá. Oǹdó, Ọ̀yọ́ ló ní Yorùbá. So now nígbà tí gbogbo wa bá wá jókòó nísìnyí, tá a bá fẹ́ wá claim Oǹdó, á sọ pé òun kì í sọ ọmọ Yorùbá. Wọ́n wá sọ wípé àwọn jẹ́ Ìkálẹ̀ Oǹdó, Èkìtì Oǹdó. Ìjẹ̀bú náà sọ wípé àwọn kì í ṣe ọmọ Yorùbá, àwọn jẹ́ Ìjẹ̀bú Alárẹ̀. Ṣé Ìjẹ̀bú Yorùbá? Wọ́n ní rárá, àwọn kì í ṣe Yorùbá. Kí ni ẹ̀sẹ̀ ń yé mi bọ̀ díẹ̀díẹ̀ ni o.
Ìjẹ̀bú Alárẹ̀.
Ẹ̀yin ènìyàn, ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá, ẹ̀yin ọmọ káàárọ̀ jíire, torí irú èmi ń sinmi òkè sọmọ Odùduwà. Ẹ rí ìtàn, ẹ rí oríṣiríṣi irúfẹ́ mi sí, èmi ń sinmi òkè sọmọ Odùduwà, ọmọ Ọbàtálá lèmi. Ṣẹ́tìrí
máa gbọ́ bẹ́yẹn.
Ṣẹ́rí pé ìpè tí mo wà kìí ṣe kékeré.
Kí ni opinion rẹ màmá?
Question mi fún gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá ni wípé ṣé gbogbo yín lẹ gbà wípé Ọ̀yọ́ ló ní Yorùbá? Tí gbogbo yín bá ti gbà wípé Ọ̀yọ́ ló ní Yorùbá,
that's a good question.
Látòní lọ kónúkánúkù fọwọ́ di ilé ẹ̀ mú, kí Ọ̀yọ́ kó fọwọ́ di Ọ̀yọ́ mú, kó fọwọ́ di Yorùbá mú, kí Ifẹ̀ kó fọwọ́ di Ifẹ̀ mú, kí Oǹdó kó fọwọ́ di Oǹdó mú, kí Ẹ̀gbá kó fọwọ́ di Ẹ̀gbá mú, kí Ìjẹ̀bú kó fọwọ́ di Ìjẹ̀bú mú. Nǹkan tó máa bá gbẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ nìyẹn o. Torí nígbà tí ẹ bá sọ wípé Ọọ̀ni of Ifẹ̀ kò lè yan ọba ló fọ Yorùbá land, àfi Ọọ̀ni Aláàfin Ọ̀yọ́ nìkan ló lè yan ipò lórí tó máa jọmọ́ Yorùbá name yẹn. Definitely àwa tó kàn àkísọ ọmọ Yorùbá, definitely Ọọ̀ni of Ifẹ̀ ò jọba lórí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Aláàfin ló jọba lórí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Torí ẹni tí ò bá mọ ìdí ọ̀rọ̀ ló máa ń jà. So kọ́kọ́rọ́ tí àwọn ará Ọ̀yọ́ ń jà lé nísìn, òun ni wípé that word Yorùbá tí ẹ ń lò yẹn kì í ṣe ti Ilé Ifẹ̀, kì í ṣe ti Oǹdó, kì í ṣe ti Ìjẹ̀bú, àwọn ló ní. Ṣé gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọmọ káàárọ̀ òjíire ṣé ẹ gbà bẹ́ẹ̀ wípé Ọ̀yọ́ ló ní Yorùbá? Tí ẹ bá ti gbà bẹ́ẹ̀ kó ló.
That's the simple question. Nínú comment section, ojú wo lẹ fi wò? Ẹ̀yin bàbá tẹ́ mọ̀ tán, ẹ jẹ́ kí ẹ fi sí comment section. Tẹ́ bá ní fact tẹ́ lè fi kọ́ àwọn èèyàn nípa nǹkan tó wà nílẹ̀. Èpè burúkú kan ó wà lórí ìran Yorùbá. Àkókò, ṣé ẹ mọ̀ pé mo gbé fídíò kan jáde ńgbà yẹn? And bàbá wa yẹn is a very well respected elders in our society. both home and abroad. Bàbá Wande Abímbọ́lá, bàbá dáadáa, bàbá yẹn má jẹ́ ntàn mo meet wọn dáadáa, bàbá ni kàgbà. Mo gbé fídíò wọn jáde nígbà tán dífá sí Ọ̀wọ́ Adé. Iná dífá pé òní fámú. Wọ́n tẹ̀ ní wọ́n ní kankan láti ṣe ní Brazil gbà yẹn lọ́rùn àwọn Yorùbá tó wà ní Brazil. Bọ̀ pẹ̀lú nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí, mo fi pé kò yẹ kí bàbá Abímbọ́lá kó fi mọ́ọ̀nì ilẹ̀ ní táìmù. Ó débẹ̀, ìwọ náà kó wọ́n pààyàn sí lọ́rùn, ó débẹ̀ ó tún ń sọ. Ṣé àkókò tó dùn èmi ni wípé ẹ̀yin lẹ́ni Yorùbá fine, ẹ̀yin ẹnìkan gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ kíní kan láàmì fine agreed. Bọ̀ ṣé àkókò yìí tó yẹ ká ẹ lọ bá Tinubu ká ẹ gbá lẹ́sẹ̀ mú kí gbogbo yín dọ̀kan kí Yorùbá lè kú o. Ṣẹ́ni tí Tinubu bá kú òun bẹ̀ gbogbo adé wèrè tẹ́ kó sórí yẹn á gbóná mọ́ yín lórí. Ẹ lọ kọ́lẹ̀. Mi ò ríran o ṣùgbọ́n mi ò kọ́ lúgí. Agbákamọ́ ìyà ajẹ́ ṣé gèsè yín lára. Àwọn kánsẹ́lọ̀ náà máa rán sí yín, wọ́n máa gbóyìn dì báyìí ni. Instead of kẹ́ ẹ lo àkókò yìí kẹ́ ẹ sọ fún ọmọ yín pé máa bọ̀ devolution of power á ti ṣe kinní yìí rí. Ẹ wá ń jà ẹnìkan joyè. Àní nílùú tèmi àwọn wọ́n lè fi èkúté ilé tẹ̀kúté ilé bá lówó èkúté ilé tó dẹ̀ lè rẹ wúrẹ́ wọ́n á fi joyè tó ṣe tó kàn wọ́n. Àwọn oyè tí mi gbórúkọ yìí láyé níbi tí ayé àwọn ọba wọ̀nyí ta dé wá ń jà lé ẹnìkan jẹyè ẹnìkan kíní kan ẹnìkan tí wọ́n fi ṣépè wọ́n ṣépè fún yín ni òun ló jẹ́ kọ́ba sílòmù sọ pé èpè ń ja ìran Yorùbá. And I agree with him. So in the comment section, she want to teach us better way, please. We need that. We need that to Yorùbá. Àgbákà kí dẹ̀ ṣe pé gẹ́rẹ́gẹ́rẹ́ àgbákàmọ́ ìpè tó jiná ni kì í ṣe pé gẹ́rẹ́gẹ́rẹ́.
lórí ọ̀rọ̀ awuyewuye tó.
So now there is something going on. That's the second thing nínú irúṣà tẹ̀lé tí mo fẹ́ fi hàn yín.
Nigerians, I will speak even if today is the last day I will spend in this world. I want you to know that the battle Asiwaju is fighting to rid this country of endemic corruption is a battle that cannot be left in his hands alone.
Why do I play this video? No matter what the battle we're going to fight, all the legacy of what is it called, reformation or tó ń ṣe lọ́wọ́ táwọn èèyàn ń jìyà yìí, gbogbo reform yẹn ẹ̀gbọ́n gbogbo ẹ̀ náà máa padà wá bàjẹ́. Ẹ bá list sí mọ́ni tẹ́ bá lọ wò ó dáadáa without ipe kóníkàlùkù mú ọkọ́ dání kí Ìgbò mọ́kọ́ kí Yorùbá mọ́kọ́ kí Haúsá mọ́kọ́ ká kọ bè sọ́dọ̀ ara wọn. Nàìjíríà ò lè dáa kì í ṣèpín. Ẹgbọ́n nǹkan tí mọ́ni sọ náà. So ojú tèmi fi wò ó nìyẹn wípé ẹ̀gbọ́n fight corruption kan ṣe gbákan àwo kan kó lè fight because oníkàlùkù wò wípé kò sẹ́ni tó ní Nàìjíríà oníkàlùkù kan débẹ̀ tó lọ jí owó ni. Báwo lèèyàn ṣe máa fi 1 billion tó máa fi di senator tẹ́rù wípé kò ní jí owó yẹn padà ṣé ó possible ni.
Every head of parastatals in Nigeria must stand up to let him know the rot in your own establishment. I tell you, NDIC stinks. There's a lot of rot going on. They say when you fight corruption, corruption fights you. Now, the document you see in my hand is one of the ways the corruption engineers in Nigeria are fighting back. You know, each time you say you want to have a true change, like the one brought about by President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you will have the change champions who will support him, but you have the change skeptics and the game changers who will frustrate all his effort to rid Nigeria of this mess. Now, this is the purported new act of the NDIC. And I tell you for nothing, this is Emefiele's act. I tell you because here they have taken away the powers of Mr. President. in respect of the NDIC. Let me start by telling you the mandate of the NDIC. The NDIC is set up as an independent agency of government to ensure that depositors' money is protected in all the banks and all financial institutions, to protect it so that Nigerians can be protected from the misbehavior of bank directors, whether in conspiracy with the CBN or when they are acting alone. That is why the NDIC has been set up as an independent body to ensure that depositors do not cry even when banks fail. So there are 4 mandates. The first mandate of the NDIC is to guarantee Nigerians who have deposits in all these banks that relax, be calm, your deposit is safe. Number 2 is to inspect the banks, because prevention is better than cure. To go around the various banks and ensure that the banks are not messing around with depositors' fund, to ensure that creditors are, those who are borrowing money from the banks are those who have the capacity to pay, and to ensure that the bank is run in the right way to bring about the happiness and the wellness of depositors. That's our second mandate, to go to the banks and ensure that we prevent collapse. Now, the third mandate is whenever the central bank eventually declares that a bank has failed, the NDIC, without interference of anybody, should go there and resolve what is happening. What do? You begin to gather the data of depositors with the aim of ensuring that depositors get the sum that is meant for them. For example, if a microfinance bank fails, for instance, we first pay them 200,000. Even if they have more than that, we are going to liquidate the assets of the banks. We are going to go after those who are owing the bank, and we are going to now make sure that we pay back the balance. But I tell you, that is not what is happening now. They've taken over. The cabal have taken over NDIC, and they took this particular act to the former President Buhari 48 hours to his leaving office. They knew at that time that the man was so busy and he would not be able to read everything they have put here. Therefore, they got him to sign it. Now, I tell you another thing. Another fraud was committed. This document that was signed is materially different from the vote and proceedings of the National Assembly that passed it. When I was appointed, I told all Nigerians, I am not celebrating. I am going to be part of those who will work with Asiwaju to rid this country of mess. Do not congratulate me until I have left.
All this your grammar now fail because lọ́bẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ wọn tó ṣe ṣáájú ẹ gbogbo nǹkan tí ẹ̀gbọ́n Aṣíwájú ń ṣe yìí gbogbo ẹ̀ náà sì máa padà rìvá ṣebí ìgbìjẹ kan ló yẹ sọ pé wọ́n fẹ́ rìvásì nǹkan tó wà lẹ́yìn gbogbo ẹ̀ ló máa padà dàrú. Devolution of power is the solution. Gbogbo grammar yìí àwọn Fúlàní ò gbọ́.
NDIC better than I met it. Therefore, no sooner than we were appointed by the president, waiting for confirmation, they quickly introduced a new bill, a law that will truncate everything that we wanted to do. So I participated in the House, in the National Assembly, because as a lawmaker, I am a lawyer of over 30 years at the bar. So I know that whatever is passed by the National Assembly and assented to by the president will be what my board will implement. So I was interested in every detail of what they were passing. My God, what has happened now is completely different from what was passed. Let me tell you, not all Nigerians are corrupt. The National Assembly still has so many senators who are men of integrity. The House of Representatives, not all of them are corrupt. There are men of integrity. They knew at that time that if they introduce this section that I'm about to talk about to them on the floor, they will vote against it. So what did they do? It was hidden somewhere. It was not part of what was passed by the National Assembly. The National Assembly passed a board that will have the representatives of the 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria to pretend over the affairs of the NDIC, to ensure that the NDIC is able to discharge its duties. Now, it also gave Mr. President the free hand to appoint competent Nigerians who are capable of becoming managing directors and executive directors. You know what they have done now? They have tied the hands of Mr. President, and they said only someone recommended by Emefiele alone can be the managing director or the executive director. You know, in the previous act, Mr. President has the freedom to appoint any competent Nigerian to superintend over the affairs of the NDIC. Now, when the National Assembly passed, when I have the vote and proceedings of the Senate, the original vote and proceedings, you know, I understand that they are trying to doctor, and I call this clerk of the National Assembly. Don't let them put your name in a mess. Some workers are compromising. Don't allow them. They forget that the vote and proceedings is in the hand of 109 senators. So if you doctor one, you cannot doctor all the others. The vote and proceedings is in the hands of 360 House of Representative members. Because I participated, I was there. So I have the clean copy, which preserved the right of Mr. President to appoint managing director without recommendation of CBN governor, to appoint executive director without recommendation of CBN governor, which allows the 6 geopolitical zones to be represented. You know what they have done now? They have removed the representatives of the 6 geopolitical zones. They have now fraudulently made the permanent secretary, who does not have time to be the chairman of the board. How can the permanent secretary be a judge in his own cause? That is the ministry supervising the affairs of NDIC. How can the head of that ministry?
Mr. Oloyinbo kò lè stop. Jẹ́ kí Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu mẹ́wàá kwankwaso Obi whatever they call themselves kan parapọ̀ kan tó wọ́n pe Jonathan kan sọwọ́pọ̀ báyìí kan náà fẹ́ tún Nàìjíríà yé. Nàìjíríà ti jẹrà. The best solution ní àgbákòbá àti sọ́yẹn. Go back to 1963 constitution. Nǹkan tó bá lè jẹ́ kí Bọ́lá Ahmed kó gbé orin òyìnbó lé wa lórí at the national anthem. Why tá a fi padà sí 1963 constitution yẹn? Is the best way to go. Ẹ̀gbọ́n bàbá olóyìnbó gbogbo lè tẹ̀ ń sọ yìí kò síjọ́ tó lè kú o. Nàìjíríà ti decay ju ilé tẹ̀ ń sọ yìí lọ.
Ministry also be the head of
NDIC. You are saying the truth,
you know why?
You are saying the truth.
I visited the permanent secretary and he told me that, Honorable Latif, I am telling you, I told them several times, do not make the mistake of making me the chairman of the board. I have 1,001 things to do as the permanent secretary, Ministry of Finance. I have 36 commissioners of finance waiting for me at Hilton. I have so many things to do. They know that I will not have time to participate so that they can do all the mess they want to do. Secondly, do you know what they have done in this act that is annoying? They have killed the career progression of all the 1,600 workers in NDIC. How can you say that somebody who is working as a teacher should not have the hope that one day I will become the principal? So what they have done here is that no worker, no director in NDIC can ever progress to become executive director, to become the managing director, because they said, even if you work all your years in the NDIC, only the central bank can appoint and recommend who should be the executive director or managing director. NDIC is an independent body from the central bank. Central bank should be in charge of their own executive directors. They should not truncate the career of 1,600 Nigerians. Now there is protest among the workers. Now they have demotivated the staff. They have demoralized the staff. There's no way they can ever rise. I call on Mr. President never to act on this. And I tell you what is worse. Which one is affecting depositors? The one that is affecting depositors is that NDIC will no longer be able to make depositors smile. I tell you for nothing, I have thousands of petitions on my table by Nigerians who are owed by the NDIC, who find it difficult to claim their rights from the NDIC. They are frustrated. As I speak, they can come out. You know, because the NDIC has so many useless sections here. The sections that say, if you don't come and claim your right between so time, the NDIC will become the owner of your money. It is there. How can you say a microfinance that is closed, And now say, how do you now get these depositors to come and collect their money? You say you are using town crier in today Nigeria to go and tell people in the village that all of you who have money in Uganda microfinance, come and collect your money from NDIC. When they have phone number that you can call. So you are denying Nigerians trillions of money. And I will not accept it. My board will not share kobo. I think of my grave. I think of my Lord. I want, if I'm removed tomorrow, I don't care. But this law now has removed the independence of the NDIC. Do you know how? Now, the former law says NDIC shall be free to go and investigate, the banks. Now, this law says NDIC can only go and investigate banks if central bank approves. This
Emefiole tẹ ló ṣe kínní kí Buhari tó ṣe mélòó ni Tinubu fẹ́ ṣe country yẹn ti bàjẹ́ kọjá, and that is why we want him to do the needful. He can do it. Ẹ̀gbọ́n Ojúyọbọ, the best thing tó lè ṣe fún Nigerians àti upcoming generation ni wípé devolution of power. Gbogbo nǹkan tí màá ní ń sọ yìí kò sí rọ́ǹbẹ̀. Eléyìí tó rí ló ń sọ yìí, eléyìí tó ti jẹ́ tí ẹ̀gbọ́n gan ti máa rí ńgbà tó débẹ̀ yẹn tó ti jẹ́ra tó jẹ eléyìí lọ. Ṣé gbogbo eléyìí mélòó ló fẹ́ correct? Ẹ wo bọ́n ṣe gbé bàálù lọ́sàn-án gangan. Bàálù wọ́n dẹ̀ gbé wá, wọ́n ní wọ́n ti ṣe kínní lọ́sàn-án gangan. Ó dẹ̀ ra odindi ṣíìpù ńlá Nàìjíríà. Odindi tírẹ́ẹ̀nì ó ń rà.
Section, before, if NDIC realizes that you are supposed to collect your money, NDIC should be able to pay you free. Now, there's a section which says, even when the bank suspend payment to you and NDIC is supposed to pay you, NDIC should go and get the approval of central bank before NDIC can pay you. This is corruption. You do not need the approval of central bank if you say NDIC is an independent agency. So today, there are 35 sections here that are put there by corruption engineers in Nigeria, where they are saying, for NDIC to do this, it needs the concurrence of central bank. For NDIC to do this, it needs the concurrence. Let me tell you, Nigeria of yesterday is different from Nigeria of today. Ashiwaju is determined. Ashiwaju is bold. He has the courage to lead this country, but he cannot do it unless the heads of agencies and parastatals are ready to stand the test of time. Tell off anybody. You remove me, I don't care. Who am I? So long as you don't remove me from worshiping my Lord. You cannot do that. So what you are saying currently is that people think it's because it's affected. It did not affect our tenure. It's because they are not lawyers. I am a lawyer of over 30 years at the bar. When a law was done, look at the previous law. We were appointed validly by Mr. President, acting under the 2006 law. We were confirmed validly by the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, acting under the 2006 law. Okay, now, Section 98 of the new law says, everything done under the old law shall remain valid. So what are you saying? Why are you saying So, our tenure is not threatened. The president has the right to dissolve. If he dissolves us, I go back to my house. I will ask my friends to celebrate. Because I say, do not congratulate me until I have left NDIC better. How do I want to leave NDIC now? I want Mr. President not to act on this law until it is probed. Probe the passage of this law. Probe the inclusion of Section 7, which takes away the right of Ministry of Finance, which takes away the representative of Ministry of Finance, and replace it with 2 directors from Central Bank. Probe why what is passed is fundamentally different from what is assented to. Probe what happened between the time the National Assembly passed it and the House of Representatives passed it, and there was no divergence under the law. Do you know the status of this new act? It is null and void. Anytime Mr. President assents to a bill that is materially different from what was passed by the Senate and the House of Rep. It means there's a material omission, and that law was not matured for assent. There's a need for the incoming for the new administration that is here by the grace of God to return this act to the National Assembly when it is proclaimed that they should investigate and allow National Assembly members to debate, because I know National Assembly is made up of very reasonable people. There are senators who are men of integrity and House of Representative members who will now read whether they will voluntarily say no member should represent the 6 geopolitical zones in the new board. We should allow the management to be the ones doing whatever they like without anybody monitoring them. Okay, we said the NDIC is supposed to be independent. Whether with the additional 35 sections, they can take away that independence by putting us in the pocket of the Central Bank of Nigeria. This is not the NDIC I want to work with. This is not the NDIC that will guarantee payment to Nigerians. No one.
Uncle, all the thing we dey talk, none of it will be saying a lie. Not true. But this probe, kini kan, igba kan, awo kan. Now, so e go the day. Even the question be say, if Asiwaju do everything now, the kone wey dem take steal this one, that kone come out. But if we go, everybody, kereje, ká lọ rori wa pé the way forward ni Agbako bá ti sọ yẹn. Devolution of power. Ẹ̀gbọ́n Ojúyọbọ, lay that legacy. It is not too much for you to do. Kò sí nǹkan tó ń fi second time ṣe sá. Mandela ṣe. The little time tí Muritala Muhammed lò, ayé gbọ́ ọ̀run mọ̀. Little time Yar'Adua lò, ayé gbọ́ ọ̀run mọ̀. Gbogbo olè tó ń lọ ní NPC, NNPC, gbogbo ẹ̀wọ̀n yẹn kò lè kú o. Tẹ́rítẹ́ bá ti ṣe tán sìn, àwọn tó gbé plane lọ́sàn-án gangan tán gbé wá sí Nàìjíríà, wọ́n yan kiri báyìí o. Mélòó lẹ fẹ́ mú bẹ̀? Ẹ wò, ojú ń tì wá.